Thanks for the interview, Ashwini. First things first, third Olympics for you. What's the feeling like? You've been there in 2012, 16, and now 2024. So, what's the feeling?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. It's different compared to the first two Olympics, and yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to it.
If you could just talk about the experiences in the 2012 and 16 Olympics, and also on missing out on the 2021. What happened there? What went wrong? If you could just throw some light on that.
I think the first two, of course, 2012 and 2016, were pretty interesting experiences because 2012 was when in women's doubles there was this whole controversy where we had pairs throwing off matches.
Yeah,
2016, I
two
had
pairs were
dengue
exited,
on,
right? Yeah.
and 2016 I had dengue a month before the Olympics, so I wasn't in the best of shape.
Yeah.
2021, I was pretty injury prone that year, and then of course COVID happened, and Siki and I weren't in the best of position. We had quite a bit of catching up to do, and unfortunately we didn't qualify. But this time around, I felt like we weren't really the favorites to qualify for the Olympics. We were nowhere in the scene, and it feels. It's pretty unimaginable that we made it compared to like where we were last Jan when we started.
Of course, it's a total turnaround story, and which brings me to the question that yours and Tanisha's pair wasn't even looked at as the first women's doubles pair in India. It was Trisa and Gayatri. So, what happened from there? What clicked for you two? Because Tanisha was also focusing on mixed doubles back then, and an injury happened to Rohan. So, how did things
No,
fall into place?
Ishan.
Sorry, yes.
Uh, well, I think for me, when we started playing again, it was, I've been playing for quite a while, and starting a fresh partnership at this age is pretty, I mean, risky because you don't really know how it's going to go. And it was literally starting from scratch, and I was
Yeah,
playing all India tournaments, which I hadn't done for like years,
yeah.
and then playing selection trials again, traveling on our own. And these were things that I hadn't done rather in a very, very long time.
Mhm.
So getting into a partnership like that where we were literally starting from scratch was tricky. But at that point in time, I was like, I'm not too sure how many years I have left, but if I am, I'd want to know that I
Yeah.
gave it a good shot.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm glad that Tanisha and I clicked well. We've had a couple of good wins last year, some good matches, and luckily, by the end of the qualification period, we were in a good position to qualify, and yeah, here we are.
If you could just talk about your partnerships with Jwala and Sikki both, because those were also very successful partnerships. You won a world championship medal with Jwala as well. So, what were the things that clicked for you in those partnerships, and what didn't? If you could explain us.
What clicked when in 2012 and 2016 when we qualified was, of course, Jwala and I. We had like a combination where our game styles really matched each other's. Siki and I, of course, we had the Commonwealth Games bronze medal, and we played a couple of good matches for the team at the Iman Cup. But still, we had like a lot of things that we needed to work on. But again, with Tanisha right now, it's different age, different, so many things. But
Yeah.
yeah, at the end of the day, I think even where I am right now is very different compared to where I was in those two partnerships and what I gave for those two partnerships. So I think the dynamics between all the three partnerships have been very, very different.
Yeah. If you could just throw some more light on what's changed in this partnership. Of course, you're the senior partner here. You were the senior partner in with Sikhi as well. So, what's the major difference in all these three partnerships?
I think age-wise, I'm a lot older, and compared to the past, I think a lot more injuries now, which wasn't really the case, and it's a lot more managing my body right now.
Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of understanding of, I can see the limitations creep in here and there. And I would say that is probably the biggest change.
Uh, as we discussed earlier, third Olympics, what have you learned from the first two? And is there anything in the build-up that you want to do differently compared to the first two Olympics?
I think go all in with my partner in this one
Yeah,
and be together. And I think at the end of the day, for Tanisha and me, it's about giving our best shot right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
And we do have like a tough draw in a tough group that we are in, but
yeah.
we are definitely aiming to give our best shot and hopefully do well.
Do you have any stories from 2012 or 16 when you went to the Olympics and something during the build-up or something when you reached the Games Village or something during the competition that stayed with you till now?
I think the biggest, of course, like 2012 was my first Olympics, and having the controversy around women's doubles happen
Yeah,
wasn't the most pleasant thing, especially because it's the Olympics and you wouldn't expect something like that to happen at the Olympics on a platform like the Olympics.
yeah,
So, yeah, that is something I don't think I'll ever forget. And also, given the fact that we played really well, we had a very strong shot of qualifying for the quarters.
yeah.
And once the whole controversy happened, then things just changed. So that was very disappointing for it having been the first Olympics. Again, second Olympics, it was a lot about me not really being fit as
Yeah,
much as I'd like to say, oh, mind over matter. But
yeah.
the dengue that I had was very bad. I think everyone has dengue, different variants and different levels of dengue. Mine was
Uh,
pretty bad. So yeah, it's been very, very interesting. And I would really love for this Olympics to go like without any drama and to just go like with just badminton involved and nothing extra.
just the last few questions on the psychological aspect of being an Olympian. Is there anything different that you do to prepare for the Olympics or would want to do differently? Because it's the biggest tournament that you're going to play in. So, how does that work for you?
I think it's definitely about balancing your mindset, knowing that it's once in 4 years and how big it is.
Yeah,
And also like understanding that, okay, you can't really hype it up so much and have so much pressure, but it's important to also think of it in a different way, tweak the way you think and be like, okay, it is any other match. And that's
yeah.
the tricky thing that we as athletes would have to do because otherwise if you're going to hype it up, it either helps or it doesn't. So
What does your training routine look like if you could sum it up? And what's your diet like for an Olympian just before, like 2 weeks before the Olympics?
I would say training wise, the training aspect of the question is easy to answer. The diet aspect is not the best, but training wise, definitely been putting in a lot of hours training in the morning. We have a fairly strenuous morning session from 8:30 till about 11.
Yep.
And then in the evening, it's more about skill. I do skill work and then I do gym work along with my strength and conditioning coach, which is 4 times a week. And then twice a week, we have evenings off and Sundays off.
Right.
So, but it's been a lot of, adding in a bit of yoga in between and doing a lot of the other things as well. But food wise, it has been definitely trying to eat to recover as
Yeah.
much as possible. But of course, there are days when I've also given in to like a sweet craving, and I feel like those days are days when I really needed it. But of
Yeah.
course, it's finding that balance and not overdoing it. And I have to be careful because I obviously want to play really well and want to do really well. And if I do anything that's extra in the other direction, it's going to affect my body. So
Hmm.
being very mindful of what I'm eating, and yeah, it's been fairly clean. I would say my diet's been eating a lot at the academy. We have like a really nice cafe there, which is Hunger Fix, where they give us good, healthy food. So eating that, cooking a bit in between, trying to keep it like healthy and have something to do in between. So yeah.
One last thing, you will be at the Olympics village and there'll be other athletes as well. So is there any particular match or athlete you want to watch playing or just be there at their event?
I would have loved to have watched the American basketball team play, mostly because I've heard my husband talk about them so much, and
Yeah,
definitely the Indian hockey team play as well.
yeah, yeah.
And Neeraj Chopra, of course. How can I forget? I would love to watch Neeraj Chopra.